You've probably heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? It promises this super straightforward path to wealth. But if it's so simple, why isn't everyone rolling in cash? Today, we're going to unpack the real secret, the one that goes way beyond just wishful thinking and explains why so many people get this whole thing completely wrong. Let's dive in.
So it all kicks off with this one huge idea from Napoleon Hill himself. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It sounds so simple, but that one little word, believe, well, that's everything. It's not about just kind of wanting something. It's about having this deep, unshakable conviction. This is the bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about.
And look, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory. Think about Jim Carrey. Way before he was a household name, he literally wrote himself a check for $10 million. He put a future date on it and kept it in his wallet. And guess what happened? He got it. It's just a perfect example of how having a crystal clear vision can actually shape your reality.
Or here's another great example. MMA fighter John Jones. He wasn't just training his body, he was conditioning his mind. For the longest time, way before he ever got that championship belt, he would sign autographs, Champ 2011. He was already living and acting like it was a done deal.
So, what this all boils down to is this popular idea, right? That if you just put your intentions out there, the universe will kind of bend over backward to make it happen for you. You can literally speak your future into being. But hold on a second. That brings up a massive question. If it's that easy, why aren't we all living in mansions?
And that question, it leads us straight into the single biggest mistake people make. It's something we can call the vision board trap. You know the drill? This is what we all think manifesting is. You cut out a picture of a mansion, a fancy sports car, you glue it all on a board, and then you just stare at it and wait for the universe to deliver the goods. But does that actually work?
And yeah, this slide, this is the gut punch. This is the reality of that trap. On one side, you have the dream life. But on the other, you're sitting in your studio apartment, the cat box is, well, you know, and there's pretty much nothing in the fridge. You're just staring at a life that feels like it's on another planet. And that's the real kicker. Seeing that gigantic gap between your reality and your dream doesn't inspire you. In fact, research shows it does the exact opposite. It makes the goal seem so impossible that it's just demotivating. It makes you feel like a loser. And instead of taking action, you just feel stuck.
Okay, so if just staring at your dream car on a vision board is a trap, what are you supposed to do? Well, it's about visualization, something totally different. It's about visualizing the bridge. Now, the bridge isn't the fun part. It's not the shiny, glamorous destination. The bridge is the journey. It's all the grunt work, the messy bits, the obstacles, and, let's be honest, all the horrible stuff you have to wade through to get from where you are to where you want to be.
Let's get really practical with this. Imagine you're training for a marathon. Don't just see yourself crossing the finish line. No, I want you to visualize your earbud batteries dying at mile 12. Visualize getting a nasty blood blister at mile 17. Picture yourself waking up on race day and it's absolutely pouring rain. And then, this is the most important part, visualize yourself putting on your shoes and running anyway.
So why on earth would you visualize all the bad stuff? It's because you're preparing yourself. You're training your nervous system. You're training your mind so that when adversity actually hits, and believe me, it will, you're not shocked. You're not defeated. You've already mentally rehearsed pushing through it. You're ready for the work. So visualizing the hard work, that's the technique. But it's kind of like a house. It's useless if it's not built on a solid foundation. And that foundation, it's your belief system. Napoleon Hill was super clear about this. He said there's a Grand Canyon-sized difference between just hoping for something and truly, deeply believing you are ready to acquire it. Hope is passive. It's a wish. Belief is an active, powerful state of mind. Let's break that down. See, hope is passive, right? It's saying, oh, I want this. But belief is active. It says, I am ready to receive this. Bring it on. Hope is always looking outside for a sign. But belief, that's an internal certainty. It's a fundamental shift. All right, but that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to say, you just gotta believe. But how do you actually flip a switch on a belief that's been hardwired into your brain for like your entire life? You know, it's actually way less complicated than it sounds.
Our beliefs are just based on how we evaluate stuff. So if you want to change a belief, you just have to reevaluate it with new information. Think about it like this. Let's say you've always believed you have to be a genius to be rich, but then you start your own thing, and you're actually earning good money. That new evidence forces you to reevaluate. You think, I'm not some genius, but I'm making it happen. Boom, new belief, my old idea was wrong.
When you boil it all down, it really just comes down to where you put your focus. Whatever you fixate on tends to expand. If all you ever think about is being in debt, guess what? Your brain is going to get really good at finding ways to stay in debt. The magic happens when you shift your focus away from what you lack and onto what you want to create, like earning. And all of this, visualizing the work, shifting your beliefs, it all points to one final and maybe the most important mental shift. It's about moving from a state of just wanting things to a state of becoming the person who has them.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. The change happens in an instant, the second you make a real decision. And it's not a decision to get something, it's a decision to be somebody. To stop being powerless and to start being the creator of your own life.
But that big, one-time decision isn't quite enough. It has to become a daily practice. Every single morning, the commitment is to wake up and say, I'm not just going to think about being successful. I am going to be that person today.
And that, right there, is the real secret. It was never really about just thinking your way to getting rich. The fancy car, the big house, the money in the bank, that's all just a side effect. The real prize, the actual goal, is the person you have to become to achieve all of those things. So the only question left to ask yourself is, who are you deciding to become today?
Follow and subscribe for the next tech part. Hit that subscribe button and follow us now.